All right, everybody. Hello. I just wanted to kick off another Challenge Your Thoughts About God series. Got a lot on my mind today. I'm not sure where I'm going to take this, but let's just jump right into it. Been back in the study of the book of Genesis, spending a lot of time in Genesis, just reading the chapter over and over again, and just kind of meditating on the character of God and also Bible interpretation. I think this is a really important point because one's character or view of God, how they perceive God, his nature's attributes, his method of operation, his MO, as we call it. Really important because if you get God wrong and you want to mimic that God, then your walk before God will be broken. And if you get God right and you want to mimic God, then your walk before God will be a pleasing aroma to his nostrils. So, who is God? What is his nature? What is his character? What are his attributes? And in kind of thinking about that, I had started writing a screenplay. It's called multiple screenplays, but one of them, I'm not sure of the title. I'm kind of thinking The Verdict or maybe Trial of the Ages, Witnesses, Testimony, and Religion. I'm kind of thinking I like Trial of the Ages. And this screenplay or this movie is really about the nature and character of God. And I call it Trial of the Ages because I'm envisioning a courtroom setting with numerous witnesses, prosecuting attorney, minister of defense, counsel for the defense, and who's on trial? Christ, who represents the principal agent of God. And Jesus is being tried for many crimes against humanity, one of which is murder. I'll get into a little bit about the screenplay. But the idea in this courtroom, in this trial, the people watching the movie, humanity, we are the juror, and we're trying to get an understanding of who God is and the idea of Christ versus the Antichrist, where Christ represents who God is and Antichrist is the opposite of who God is. So this is what's on trial. The witnesses will be many people in the Bible, starting with Adam and Eve, the apostles going all the way through Abraham and Moses and King David, and getting to the New Testament, we'll have Ananias and Sapphira and the Apostle Paul. There will be many witnesses testifying to the truth about God's character. And I'm back in the book of Genesis, as I stated earlier, and I'm kind of reading it, and there are a lot of things that are coming to my mind. One of them is in Genesis chapters 5 and 6, really chapters 5 and 6, where it deals with the flood of Noah, where allegedly, the author of the book of Genesis, presumably that's Moses, but I'm not sure, but he's talking about the life of Noah and the flood, and in various passages it talks about how God repented in his heart for creating man and how he wanted to destroy humanity and start over. This is what Bible says. We'll have Moses on trial testifying to what God told him. But is God a killer? Did he murder almost all of humanity? Genocide. We're going to talk about it. I say he didn't. I say God has never killed anyone because Jesus Christ never killed anyone, and Jesus is the truth about the Father. But how do I reconcile that with Scripture? So I'm in Genesis, I'm studying it, and I'm trying to understand. I'd like to talk a little bit about it, but before I do, I wrote a trailer for the screenplay, Trial of the Ages. I want to read the trailer. Let me pull it up here. Trial of the ages, the people versus Jesus Christ. Breaking news. Jesus Christ has just been apprehended by the feds and is in a maximum security jail pending arraignment. It is reported that several laws have been violated, namely failure to honor the Sabbath, bearing false witness, and blasphemy. But the most damning charge is first-degree murder. After studying the sentencing guidelines, our legal experts have concluded that the penalty for violating statutes under the Mosaic law is death. And in this great land of the holy, the method of execution is hanging on the cross. Can anybody believe the purported king of the universe will actually be on trial for his life? God, Father, and Son. In the bench warrant, prosecutors are alleging that Jesus, working as principal agent for organized crime mobster, the Godfather, has killed millions of people over a period of several thousand years. What's really frightening is the reported genocide attempt on the human race during the flood of Noah. That was so long ago. How can he be charged for that? It appears the DA has found a loophole under the RICO Act, which extends the statute of limitations back to the beginning of time. The defense has maintained his innocence, but clearly they have their work cut out for them. Courtroom. Docket 666 will be heard in the highest court of the land, presided over by the Honorable Judge Jehovah. Prosecuting attorney for the case is the legendary Mr. Satan, alongside co-counsel Lucifer Light Angel, EXQ. The defense will be headed by the mysterious H.S. Truth. Finally, it looks like the people will finally get to see who this man is. Just in, we're receiving some unprecedented news that the former lead prosecutor of the century, aka Saul of Damascus, has flipped sides and will be serving on the defense team as the Minister of Grace. In addition, sealed information has been leaked that Satan will not be allowed to step foot in the courtroom because of prophetic threats against his life, allegedly made by the defendant. It seems Satan will have to try this case from the mouths of other people. We've heard of witness protection in the past, but I can't ever recall something like this. The prosecuting attorney has to be protected by the people. Wow. Evidence. If all that wasn't enough, inside sources are indicating that the witness list is shaping up to be the who's who of Hollywood. Noah, Abraham, Jonah, David, John the Baptist, and several of the apostles are just a few. The district attorney is also planning a subpoena to subpoena a high number of profile individuals, most notably Adam, Cain, and Judas Iscariot. Rumor also has it that Ananias and Sapphira are anxious to testify, as they still have a pending civil lawsuit going against lead counsel for the defense. By the looks of the media frenzy outside of the courtroom, this is destined to be the trial of the ages. Media coverage. Due to limited courtroom seating capacity, coupled with the public interest in the case, it is expected that the judge will allow the proceedings to be recorded by the major news agency Brand New Day Productions. Has been given exclusive filming rights for all post-trial interviews, which will likely be aired on every big screen in the country. Truth. What's really on trial here is the truth. Does God love the people, or is he a murderer? Did Jesus commit perjury, or is he telling the truth? Has there been a violation of the law, or did he completely fulfill? These questions and more will be explored. The public will serve as the jury. What will the verdict be? Come and see. So that's the trailer for Trial of the Ages. I've said many times before that God is love. But when we read Bible, it appears that he has either killed or endorsed the killing of women, children, humans, even genocide, flood, Noah. How can somebody serve God as one that loves if he's willing to kill the people of Sodom and Gomorrah? How do we reconcile that? Do we say to ourselves that we don't understand love? Because in God killing people, that's an expression of his love? Can anyone perceive love in human, in this natural life, if someone says that they're going to kill people as an expression of love? We reject that in humanity, but we can embrace it through Bible. Is that what it is? This is a challenging matter because I, for one, I'm a firm believer in the scriptures. Not necessarily the literal reading of the text, but I think Bible is teaching us something. I think there's a parallel message in scripture that I want to talk about. There's a natural storyline and there's a spiritual storyline. Trial of the Ages, Book of Genesis. Yep, that's what we want to talk about. Stay tuned.